Hey everyone, this is PrinceBrightstar, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. So, today we've got a lot to take a look at here. We're taking a look at the Rising event, the yearly event, basically in remembrance of the 1.0 era. Then we are going to be looking at unlocking the 2 new Dawntrail jobs today. Now, just to clarify, I'm going to need time to level them up to go through the entire quest line, so this is just going to be unlocking them, and then we'll take a look at the actual quest line at a later date. And then after that, we're going to be taking a look at the healer role quest. So, a busy day today. Let's start off with the Rising event here. That begins over here in Limsa, and we just need to head over to here. And that haunting voice is the sound of basically what was playing in the overworld I think it was like the final week or two before the servers of 1.0 shut down. Anyway, we have the Wandering Minstrel here. Let's go ahead and talk to them. Of all the coincidences, you will hardly believe it, but I was just this very moment reminiscing of the time you lent me your strength a 12th month past. You see, I again find myself in pressing need of an adventurer's aid, just as I did last Rising. Oh, if only Prince were here, I thought to myself. And here you are! Well then, what do you say? Shall we clasp arms once more? Okay. My thanks. The matter is this. I have been approached by a lady named Ayoyo, who wishes to imprint her own inimitable mark upon the skies above Limsa. I speak, of course, of the fireworks that illuminate these rising nights. Learning of my contribution to previous year's festivities, she has enlisted me to her cause. We already have the ear of the organizing committee. However, Lady Ayoyo has expressed a strong desire to consult with a storied adventurer before finalizing her proposal. Come to the Yellow Jackets guardhouse at the base of the Coral Tower, and I will introduce you. Alrighty. So, that is going to lead us to the lower portion of Limsa. And we can get there down this pathway here. And then from here... Oh my goodness, the map is completely filled. Wait, where? Maybe it's up here then. Huh. Let me actually pull up the quest then. Oh, all the way over there! That's weird, Maybe I misunderstood it, but the quest text, at least to me, seemed like we needed to head down below to get to it. Alright. Well, that's just a quick Ethernet travel away then. To the Marauders Guild. Oh, maybe they were talking about down here where the stairs are. Yeah, there they are. Lady Ayoyo? One storied adventure, as promised. Lesson of the 12 upon you. Name's Ayoyo, Cannoneer First Class with the Yellow Jackets. It's an honor to have you on board. Cannoneer. If I remember correctly, that was supposed to be one of the classes that unlocked, but unfortunately, they never got it into the game. Although you can still see signs of that class actually if you look around this building. We'll look for one in a little bit here. Did I mention that it is the Yellow Jackets who are in charge of this year's festivities? Not only in decorating of these fair luminescent streets, but in designing and constructing the fireworks that brighten the skies above them? Lady Yo-Yo here is quite the savant in all matters incendiary and explosive, and so it has fallen to her to formulate a plan for the display's crowning glory. Me and the other lads and lasses of the Cannoneers whipped up a load of lovely little drakes, snakes, and devils for the Moonfire Fair, but more of the same ain't gonna cut it for the Rising. 'Cause it's all about remembering those we lost in the Calamity, ain't it? Them and theirs deserve something a mite specialer than a bunch of old bangers. An admirable sentiment, I'm sure. It would not do for our ode to such poignant memories to be aught less than memorable. Let us make this year's Rising one that the citizens of this fair realm will not soon forget. Took the words right out of me mouth, dearie. Thing is, haven't hardly set foot out of Limsa in all me days. I don't reckon I'm best placed to know what's going through the minds of the citizens of this fair realm. And so you would pick an adventurer's brains, one who has journeyed far and wide across this land we love, and knows it and its people intimately. Yet before we call upon your particular wisdom, mayhap it would behoove us to seek out a wider range of opinions. Many and more look to the skies come rising night, and the thoughts that run through their minds are no doubt as diverse. Let us learn them. Sounds like a plan. Mind if I join you, dearie? Could do with learning some of these thoughts myself. Right then, where's best to start asking around? Someplace a lot of outsiders gather, I reckon? How about we meet in the Aetheryte Plaza, down in the lower decks? While you two are so engaged, allow me to continue our discussions with the organizing committee. I shall await you by the aft castle. Alright, that one's at least a little bit clearer. We're headed to the Aetheryte Plaza. Alright, so if I remember correctly, if we take a look around at the top of the stairs here... Let's see. Yeah, there it is. So, over here we have the Marauders, and then over here was supposed to be the Cannoneer class. They were supposed to be basically dual-wielding guns, but unfortunately that class never made it into the 1.0 portion of the game, and it never really became anything. Eventually it got replaced with Machinist instead. So that's what eventually became of that class. Anyway, to the Aetheryte Plaza. Alright, and over here. You see them lights down Ocker's Alley, dearie? Decorations for the festival they are. Every year, when the streets are all decked out for the Rising, the arts fills with, well, all kinds of feelings. Sorrow, pride, regret. But enough about me. We came here to find out how the other folks feel about it. Let's split up. Head down the alley and ask a few likely-looking customers each. Alrighty. We're on a schedule here, so don't go asking every single soul you see. 4 or 5 should do. Yeah. I'll meet you down by the ferry docks when you're done. So the ferry dock's near the, near where the, fisherman job is? Welcome, welcome. What may I interest you in this fine morning? Ah, information, is it? Well, if you really must know, the whizzing and banging that fills the air this season always takes me back to the time just before the calamity struck. A great festival was held to celebrate the reformation of the grand companies. People in the streets were hooting and hollering and setting off fire spouts, and all the ships in the bay, now bedecked in maelstrom colors, let loose their cannons. It seems so foolish now, knowing what was soon to befall us, but all that noise served a purpose nonetheless, drowning out the fear that ever whispered in our ears. It is my firm belief that the rising fireworks serve the same purpose even now. They present a vision of loveliness, of togetherness, that we might forget our fears and be given hope for a brighter future. Alright. And then... should be someone else around here. Here we go. The streets are full of life. The sky's full of fire, and the westerly winds fill in our seafarers' sails as it does our arts. Ah, I couldn't have picked a better time to come home. You're a sailor too, are you? Helping with the fireworks, you say? Good on ye, lad. Aye, I've a few memories o' back then, if you've an ear to hear 'em. I'm a merchant seaman, you see, always sailing hither and thither across the waves. Was just back from a trip to Radzat Han when the calamity struck. Everyone was looking up to the sky and that loathsome lantern that hung low in it. Like most folk, I don't remember much of what happened in the days before or after it fell, but I'll never forget those faces. And that's what I love so much about the fireworks. You see the same faces looking up, but this time with a smile. Reminds you not only of the bad times, but how we got over them. Okay. Yeah, right here. Can you see them too, my love? Unfortunately, this is kind of a rainy day here in Limsolaminsta, so it's not that easy to see what's going on in the sky here. You're involved with the fireworks, and want to know what I think of them? Well, just now I was wondering if they can be seen from far out in the offing. Do you know? I see. The reason I ask is that my husband is out there now. He meant to be back by rising night. Oh hey, the rain just cleared up. But it seems the tide didn't turn in his favor. He was so looking forward to the fireworks. I do hope that he can see them from where he is. That we can share them together, no matter how far apart we might be. That is my only request to you. That you make the finale as bright and boisterous as you can. That all those who cannot be together this rising might still share in its message. Okay, and one more person. Okay, as much as I may have trouble with names over in Tyrol, I don't think I could ever get this one. Alright there. Anything I can do for you? You're asking for people's thoughts on the rising fireworks? Would have thought a great hero like you would have better things to do with your time. But I suppose that's what makes you a hero, eh? Helping people out whichever way you can. Yeah, this reminds me of something I've been saying recently in the Discord. It's not necessarily the job of an adventurer to save the universe, but rather to be in the right place at the right time to render assistance. Well, I'm like most people, I suppose. I think of those I lost. My parents, most of all. I wonder if they're watching too. Swim up from the bottom of the ethereal sea to see what all the crashing and banging's about. It's complicated, I suppose. I feel sad they're gone, but happy I'm not, and grateful to Bataron saving me and so many others. If they are watching, I hope they can see me too. See that I'm doing all right for myself. That they might sleep soundly for another 12th month. Alright, and we are headed west, so to the ferry on the west side of the town, not down by where the fisher job is. Right here. Sorry to keep you waiting, dearie. So, what did you find out? Same here. Was half expecting him to just, like, looking at the pretty lights, but it seems the feelings run a lot deeper than that. The memories of the calamity still sit heavy on their hearts, but the rise in fireworks go some way to lifting that weight. So, any ideas for the grand display? What kind of thing do you reckon help lift those spirits the most? Yeah, so we have the choice of many different things. I'd say something that gives people hope for the future. Hope for the future, eh? That ain't a bad idea. Reminding folk that however dark the night, dawn is just around the corner. And they're making jokes at their expansions again. The Rising ain't just about the mourning just about mourning those we lost, after all. It's about remembering the struggles of those who survived to steer us to a brighter future. Aye, that's it. That's what Limsa needs this Rising. Ships, cannons, a departure salute, not just for the fallen, but for those setting sail for unknown shores. A vision of the past and of the future. An old bleeding armada filling Galadian Bay, lighting up the very heavens. Who wouldn't want to watch that? Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Usually they do the Rising event over in Thanalan. In fact, given the nature of what happens in Ul'dah on Balmung, I made sure to intentionally change worlds for this, but apparently this is just in Limsa here. Anyway, that's settled then. The minstrel's gonna love it. He said he'd be up by the aft castle, right? I'll see you there. To the aft castle, and basically right back where we started. Our intrepid adventurer returns, and positively bursting with inspiration, I take it? I see. A traditional seafaring salute. not only to the memories of the fallen, but to the future fortune of those who follow in their wake. A most fitting proposal, I'm sure. Thanks, the both of you. But our work ain't done yet. There's a lot needs sorting out before we can put this idea into action. So much to do, so little time. If you wouldn't mind helping us a little longer, dearie, I'd be forever in your debt. Let me know when you got your loins good and girded. Alright. And on to the next quest. Right then, let's get started, shall we, dearie? The plan is, we're going to line up an old fleet of ships across the bay and have them fire a broadside into the sky. But before we go about finding our fleet, we need to get the plan approved by the organizing committee, and that means convincing Commodore Raynor. Hang on, I think I clicked once and then I accidentally just clicked again here. No, I didn't, but I did misclick there, so I'll take the lead, but I ain't exactly got the silverest tongue, nor much experience nobbling with the higher-ups. If you two see me struggling, put in a word, won't you? Of course, milady. Your cause is ours. Thank you, me dears. Together, then, to the Coral Tower. Alright, back to the Marauders Guild. Last I had the privilege of meeting with the Commodore was around the time of the Calamity. I had been arrested for conspiracy to incite rebellion. Naturally, it was all a misunderstanding. Some other's scurrilous soul had been singing songs of sedition. If not for Raynor and his relentless pursuit of the truth, I might still be lingering in the brig. He is a shrewd investigator who will brook no equivocation. Shall we, then? Wanting to make the Rising display special, I can fathom. But the sheer scale of this proposal is beyond anything I imagined. Yo-Yo, need I remind you that the first duty of the Yellow Jackets is the keeping of the peace? Filling the bay with ships will not only disturb the daily workings of the harbor, but is sure to foment agitation among the commons. Knowing this, do you still mean to persevere with this outlandish plan? I do, Commander. Every luminescent art, every Eorzean art, still bears the scars of the Calamity. All that loss, that hardship, that struggle, it cut deep. But the Rising ain't just about looking to the past, it's about looking to the future too. And if it's our duty to watch over folk, keep 'em on the straight and narrow like, I reckon it's our duty to see 'em off on another year's journey. 2. Well put. I accept that your intentions are pure, but what of the logistics? I trust you have a plan as to who exactly will be providing and paying for this fleet of yours. Yes, Commander. We're going to petition the Maelstrom for the flagship, and the rest from, the Black Sails. Of course. One is wont to forget that those buccaneering souls remain bound to serve the Maelstrom in times of necessity. Lady Yo-Yo would have us parley with the 3 great pirate captains and remind them of their civic duty. it seems. Aye, that's right. The pirates answered the Admiral's call back when the moon was fallen. Fought and died at Cartano, same as the rest of us. But when they hear about our plan to salute all those who fell, and all those who didn't, I don't doubt they'll answer the call again. I wish you all the luck in the world in recruiting those rogues to your cause. You shall need it. Very well then, allow me to arrange the parley. Should you succeed in this feat, you may consider all of my remaining doubts answered. I bid you remember that you go to speak with pirates, lawless marauders all. Pray that you do not say aught to offend them, lest we find ourselves with a mutiny on our hands. I shall have the Maelstrom summon the leaders of the 3 factions to the anchor yard. Pray go there and complete your preparations. Cheers for sticking with me, lads. I hope I can count on your support in the next set of negotiations and all. Of course, my lady. Alas, I fear the captains, those far-famed scourges of the seas, will prove rather less biddable partners than Commodore Raynor did. While Roswin of the Sanguine Sirens may be swayed by emotion, Carvelan of the Kraken's Arms is of a much more mercenary mind. The executioners, meanwhile, value honor and glory above all else. If there is aught that unites them, it is a zealous spirit. Let us argue with passion, that we might inflame theirs. If it's passion you're after, I've got that in bleeding bucket loads. But I might need you two to jump in again, because me tongue decides to... case me tongue decides to tie itself in an half itch. Just say the first thing that comes into your heads, and I'll pick up after. Come on then, dearies. Let's head on over to the anchor yard and get this parley started. Some of these pirates, But anyway, yeah. So we are headed all the way over there, actually. So in that case, it'd be quicker if I just hit up the Aethernet. Alright, here's our destination. Thanks for coming. The reason we asked you here is... Aye, the Maelstrom summons laid it out for us loud and clear. You want us to help you with the rise in fireworks. And the answer is no. When my sirens fire a broadside, it's to send our enemies to the bottom of the briny not to paint pretty pictures in the sky for drylanders to gawp at. We've better things to be doing with our time. 'Tis a rare occurrence, to be sure, but I find that my opinion aligns with Roswin's. Our time is precious, as I am sure is yours. Let us hasten to draw these discussions to a close. I shall put it bluntly. I see no profit in this endeavor for myself and my men, so unless there is anything else... Why, it's the perfect opportunity to forge a deeper bond with Roswin. If you should require my men and I to shackle ourselves to the sirens, we should require even greater recompense. The sheer scale of the spectacle we propose would no doubt draw all the lords and ladies of the realm to gather in the city, personages of high renown and deep pockets. Aye, and if they saw you lot working and in and with the Maelstrom, it'd do wonders for your public image. Folks who normally wouldn't touch a pirate with a barge poled be queuing up to do business with you. I do believe you have a point. Poorly phrased though it might be, to win legitimate business, one must project the image of a legitimate businessman. Sod your image, and sod anyone who's too lily-livered to trade with us. They can stick their barge poles up their backsides. What's in it for the sirens? If you won't consider them customers, consider them quarry. Ha! You do realize our days of pillaging every ship we see are long gone. Quarry my arse. The sanguine sirens ain't all about the pirating life though, are ye? You run aim shows for the sick and injured, and those with child. Keep themselves busy with odd jobs, such as come their way. Them's your hunters, and the folk who are drawn to the city to see the grand display, your quarry. Ah, I see where you're going with this. Get the girls to set up stalls selling food and grog and the like, and they'd make a killing providing they add all the right permits from the Yellow Jackets. You're a shrewd one, you. Maybe I could lend him an hand myself. They do say the best way to a man's heart is through his stomach. What of the executioners? There is no dishonor in linking arms with Admiral Merwib and the Maelstrom, surely. You, Yellow Jacket, I want you to tell me one thing and tell it true. This is Limsa, the greatest port in all the realm. You can find this fleet with yours without our help, yet you've come here begging for it. Why? Because I reckon you're the ones who need the rising most. The black sails only came together because of Cartano. You could have upped anchor and sailed off into the sunset, but no. You fought like demons on those cursed flats. Made heroes of yourselves, and martyrs. The way I see it, is only right that those that lost the most, when they stood to gain the least, should be the ones to fire the salute to the departed. And a salute to the departed, too. The calamity changed the lives of you pirates more than anyone. If anyone should be celebrating new beginnings, it's those whose new beginnings already begun. So it's all for our own good, is it? I'm headed back to the Astalicia. Send word when you've hammered out the details of this display of yours. We'll see what we can do. Aye, aye, Captain. Can't rightly say no to you now, can I? We lost a lot of good people back in Cartano. Let's send them off with a bloody great bang. I will join you, on one condition. That in your reminiscence of trauma past, you do not make a shameful spectacle of yourself. Pray do not force me to restrain you again. I never forced you to do nothing. You'll keep your hands off me if you want to keep them, you randy bastard. Quite the fragile flower, isn't she? Well then, I bid you adieu. My ships will not ready themselves. And breathe! Gods, I was so nervous I could hardly speak. Thanks so much for chipping in when you did. Could have never gotten him out on our side without you. Right then, time to put the finishing touches on this plan of mine. It's gonna be wonderful, I just know it. Oh, and about your reward. I've given it to the minstrel. You can grab it from him. To new beginnings, lad, and may the navigator's breath ever fill your sails. Alright, so the question is the minstrel gonna start playing a song for us? You did a great service, my friend, both for Lady Ayoyo and for all those who love the Rising, myself included. For that, I shall be ever grateful. I expect it shall be still some hours before preparations for the grand finale are complete. Mayhap we could wait together. While we wait, would you care to hear a verse that has lately come to me? It is a song of celebration, of encouragement, for all those who set sail for unknown shores. Pray, lend me your ears. And once again, it's time for a message. Greetings, warrior of light. This is a world that exists outside your reality. Would it be a dream? A flight of fancy conjured by your weary mind? Perhaps, or perhaps not. Once again, Naoki Yoshida inserts himself into the game. 'Tis a pleasure to meet you again, as I have in the past. I have beckoned you here that I might express my gratitude. The road we have walked has been long and winding, full of perils and pitfalls, but we have enjoyed every step in your company. We hope that you feel the same about this last great leap. With every adventure we undertake, the longer the legacy we leave behind us. Yet a lengthy history need not mean a foreshortened future. Many adventures still await. Yet await. We shall continue to chart a course into the great unknown, one that takes in all the diverse wonders this wide world has to offer, that your legacy might grow ever greater. To be certain, it would be a less trying task to sleepwalk ever onward down the same well-furrowed path, yet to venture down paths untrodden, believing in the bright and glorious future that lies beyond them, is by far the more rewarding. This is the gift that we wish to deliver unto you, the gift of adventure. And we pray with all our hearts that you will continue to walk with us. We thank you for joining us on this journey, hence, heretofore and hereafter. Now, the time has come for this vision to end. Time for your eyes to open from this waking dream. One cannot know what fills the hearts and minds of those who look to the sky this rising night. Perhaps you and I will see very different images in those explosions of light and color. But one thing I know for certain, that right here, right now, we look to the same sky. And though the paths that lay ahead of us may lead in very different directions, sometime, someplace, they shall cross again. It's almost time for the display to begin. The consummation not only of our labors, but of the thoughts and prayers of the people of this fair city. A salute for the departed, and for those who set sail into unknown waters. Many adventures yet await you, my friend. May the navigator's breath ever fill your sails. Eastern sea to eastern sky, the sacred sun ascends, and voices stir of wind, of waves, of ropes, of sails, of friends, who like the golden light of dawn that streams across the sea, set sunlit sail for foreign lands, may fortune follow thee. Her journey done, so sinks the sun below the western waves, and memories stir of friends of yore, asleep in watery graves. Let not our voices raised in song disturb your endless sleep, but join us in our chorus, and you dream among the deep. An excerpt from an ancient mariner's song, a prayer for the safe return of those who sail over the far horizon, and for the peace of those who sleep beneath those same eternal waves. It concludes with a wish that the voices of those whose spirits are stirred in anticipation of new adventures reach the ears of those whose adventures ended too soon. That they might be united as one, a fitting sentiment for the rising, methinks. And so I offer you my own heartfelt wish, that even should your adventures carry you beyond the far-flung horizon of this wide world, we should meet once more in a 12 months' time, and look up to the same sky together. You have unlocked the toy chest. I unlocked that way long ago. Why are you giving me this message here? Additionally, certain notable personages have been seen to frequent the anchor yard this rising. Do the same and you may be greeted with an unexpected encounter. Yeah, the Rising is an anniversary event for specifically so that they can celebrate the closing of the 1.0 servers and basically the start of these servers ever since A Realm Reborn. Okay, so they said there's apparently points around. A soft westerly wind blows across the anchor yard. Let's enjoy the sea breeze. You hear footsteps approaching. You turn and see... Ha! How about the Admiral? Prince, this is a coincidence. Raynor was just telling me of the role you played in putting the display together. I'm sure all those who gathered in my city to witness it were as moved as I. A salute to all those who set sail for new adventures. It shall surely resound in the hearts, and give them strength and courage in the year to come. And a salute to the fallen too, was it not? Many and more lost their lives on the fields of Cartano, the men and women of the Black Sails, chief among them. I thank you for giving those who survived them this chance to put their grief to more productive ends. I thank you for giving the celebrations an unmistakable touch of salt, too. This year's Rising was not merely in Liminsa, but of her. I look forward to seeing how future host cities follow our example. But for now, let us focus on the present. I'm sure I have kept you from your business for far too long already, and I must return to mine. I must offer my prayer to Lim Lane and be on my way. Fare you well, Prince. I wish you safe voyages for the year to come. May the navigator's breath ever fill your sails. Okay, so then we're able to see multiple of them. Okay. Sure. What about Baderon? If it ain't me old pal Prince, you're to beg the old bird for guidance too, are ye? I was just saying a few minutes ago, there's no way I was gonna get that name, so I'm not even gonna try. They said you had an and in this year's fireworks, and not a bad job you made of him, neither. You met her down in Hawker's Alley. I sent her to pick up some stock for the winch. But do you know what she brought me back? Only a bottle of bleeding Baku's. Paid for it out of her own pocket, she did. To thank me for saving her life. Don't know why she's so hung up about it. The girl's paid me back 100 times over with all her hard work over the years. Felt a bit bad accepting it, but, well, a bottle of Baku's is a bottle of Baku's. Reckon it's you we should be thanking, anyway, for that marvelous display. All the ships in the harbor, they fire in the sky. It brought back a lot of memories. Some good, some bad. But every one of them well worth remembering. And we ain't done making them yet. You'll be off on your next adventure soon. Enough, I wager. Well, you can't rightly be striding out on an empty stomach, now can you? Come up to the wench and we'll fill your belly. Alright. How about the head chef of the Bismarck? Well, well, well. I come to Lim Lane's breath on me face, only to find the faithless besom whispering in the ear of another. How have you been keeping, Prince? I hear we've got you to thank for the Ryzen display. Yo-Yo's been singing your praises from Fisherman's Bottom to the Coral Tower. What? Surprised I know her? Lim's is a small place, lad. Hardly a day goes by I don't see a yellow jacket or several in the Bismarck. Whether it's to sup on the finest food and wine this side of the sea, or to clap the irons on those who've tapped the casks a touch too thirstily. Suppose an adventurer like you might not have noticed, always coming and going as ye are. But stick around the city for a while and you'll see the jackets ain't just axes for hire. They're true friends of the common folk. Ayuya was a retainer before the calamity struck, you know. Her master had a thing for fireworks. Every time they came back from their wanderings, they'd load her down with an hundredweight of spouts and spinners they'd picked up from God's know where. Okay, I don't keep a collection, but I have seen other players post up inventories of just hundreds and hundreds of fireworks in their inventory. Day and night, you'd see her down in the market ward, beaming that sunny smile of hers at every passerby, trying her damnedest to flog the stuff. Enjoyed the work, I reckon, but then Dalmud fell, and she lost her master. Literally lost him. The way she tells it, it were as if the calamity burned an old in her memory, and they fell straight through. Couldn't remember their face, nor their name. But she never forgot the fireworks. The amount of gunpowder that went through her hands over the years, she couldn't help learning a bit about making things go bang. An apprenticeship with the cannoneers later, and she was a yellow jacket. So when I heard they were the ones who'd been put in charge of the Ryzen display, I knew she'd be first to volunteer. The Ryzen, the fireworks, they mean a lot to her, and as a friend, they mean a lot to me, so thank you. Alright, 2 left. Let's go for that curious one next. An explorer and his baby Opal Opal. I was wondering when we were going to run into them again after what happened with the Raid series. I knew it was you. I could tell it from your bearing. Forgive me, it gladdens me that our paths should cross again. Of course. And yet I find myself somewhat lost for words. Are you well? What brings you here? Is that so? I should have known it. It is very much like you to help others fulfill their dreams, to bring life and light to the world. I always liked festivals, as did all my brethren. Though the celebrations have taken diverse forms over the years, all brought smiles to the faces of our children, and in turn us. I don't think I've ever encountered anything ever considered to be diverse forms before. Though it was our custom, nay, our duty, to watch over you from the Phantom Realm, one among us was so drawn to the music and the merrymaking that he adopted a mortal form, that he might join you in your revelry. In every festival is imbued the hopes and dreams of mortal man. You implore the gods to listen to your pleas, and they hear you. They still do. Till next our paths should cross. Ook, ook, ook. So if you don't know who that is, they are, since we're probably not gonna go back and cover it, they are from the Myths of the Realm raid series, and basically they are the last of the first that is still living. Alright, we hear footsteps approaching. Or, I'm sorry, not the first. He is the last living of the 12, the same that were looked to during those same events where Dalamud came down. Alright, the acting captain of the Bloody Executioners. If it isn't my old mate Prince, I heard you had a hand in the fireworks, but I thought you'd be long gone by now. I'm glad you stuck around, though. Gives me a chance to thank you. For getting the executioners involved, like. Can't say you didn't run us ragged, getting the old fleet loaded up with tons of fire sand and ready to sail at a moment's notice. But it was well worth it in the end. Aye, there's nothing a pirate enjoys more than a bit of the old pyrotechnics. The send-off for shipmates past and present. If it got me in the guts, so it did. Most risings I spend at the bottom of a flagon, thinking of those we lost and salting my grog. But this salute's only gone and put the wind in my sails. I'm up and anchored tomorrow in search of an island sanctuary of me own. Somewhere to bury me booty. Wish me luck, Prince, and may Lim Lane's breath ever blow at your back. Alright. So that's it for this spot. I don't know if there are any other spots like that. I'll take a quick look around, but basically that's it for the Rising event. There was one other thing. They gave us an item here, a brushed up Kryl. She is not to be brushed off in the face of danger. So, with that, now let me go ahead and bring them out. And let's see. Okay, I've already got the camera all the way down. But yeah, this here is the brushed up Kryl minion. So, and look at them waving their little Pictomancer brush there. Yeah, I don't think anything is ever going to top the 5th of the Rising events. At least I think it was the 5th. Maybe it was an earlier one. But there was one in particular whereby we basically ventured into the actual offices of the team over at Square Enix. And it was there that we saw all like these different concept designs for upcoming classes and things like that. It's where we learned that they were working on both red and blue mages. Yeah, that was definitely a fun one. But this one was also still good. Maybe not as long as some of the others we've had, but this was still a good one for what it was. Alright, I'm not seeing any other of those points around here, so I guess that's it for the Rising event then. So, with Kryl behind us, why don't we go ahead and make our way over to the Black Shroud, to New Gridania, and let's go unlock the Pictomancer class. That's actually pretty close to where the Conjurer's Guild is. Here we go. Cheerless Hearer. Matron, help me. One more complaint this day and I swear. Forgive me my rambling, but please, tell me you haven't come to make a complaint. I haven't. Is something amiss? Well, I should warn you that a Moogle has been making a nuisance of himself here in Gridania. The Palmed Pest has been harassing adventurers in an attempt to rope them into some painting endeavor. Despite the lack of interest, he refuses to give up. You are an adventuring sort, are you not? If so, you would be wise to give that Moogle a wide berth. Unless you are the artistic adventuring sort. I suspect he's still loitering in the Aetheryte Plaza, if my tale has piqued your interest. Alright, we head back for the main Aetheryte then. You there, Quo. How would you like to do some painting? Not ordinary painting, mind you. Magic painting, where your works come to life. Your imagination's the limit. Ah, Kupo nuts. Why won't anyone give me a chance? They could do so much good with the power of Pictomancy. You had me at magic painting. What did you say, Kupo? You're not pulling my palm, are you? You wish to know more about Pictomancy? Truly? Hooray, hooray! The name's Kupopo, and I'm extremely pleased to meet you, Kupo. I am the inheritor of a Pictomancer's soul crystal, and I seek a creative individual who can carry on this arcane artistry. A history lesson is in order. Pictomancy was conceived some 1500 years ago, in the dusk of the 5th Astral Era. While other schools of magic that originated during that period, such as Black and White, are expressions of the caster's will, Pictomancy relies on something even more abstract, the imagination. By channeling ether into a concept held in the mind's eye, a Pictomancer can give form to the formless. It's a bit tricky to wrap your head around, I know, and that's precisely why the Great Archon Realm, founder of Pictomancy, incorporated the painter's tool into our art. So Realm was a character in Final Fantasy VI, and they were in fact a Pictomancer in that game, at least in the original Japanese text. The English translated to something a bit different than that. Can't quite remember what it is off the top of my head, but yeah. A gifted artist as well as a mage, Realm took up a brush instead of a staff, and wielded ether like a paint to give shape to her imaginings. In this way was Pictomancy born, a magical discipline unlike any other Kupo. Now, Realm was a charitable soul, and never ever used her powers for self-serving ends. She dedicated her life to aiding and defending those in need. During the War of the Magi, Realm traveled the land and saved countless people with her Pictomancy, and it was for those deeds that she earned a place among the 12 Archons. So how about it? Would you like to take up the Archon's noble legacy and become, dare I say it, a Realm reborn? They're just full of jokes today, aren't they? Wonderful, Kupo. Your enthusiasm warms my heart. As I have only one soul crystal, however, I must ensure that I entrust it to the right person. Therefore, I will grant you this dazzling opportunity. No, I would say it was, oh, not Koji Fox. They're not so much... I mean, they still do stuff with translation, but not so much directly in the game anymore. Maybe it was, there's another guy, you often see in the live letters. Foxclaw. Maybe they did it? I don't know. I require that you attend a job interview. Seek me out at the Carline Canopy, and be sure to come prepared with your fanciest Pictomancy answers for my flurry of very professional questions. Apparently, we have a job interview. Alright, Koopapo. Ah, there you are. I would have invited you to my cozy little hovel and put out tea and biscuits. Except I don't have a cozy little hovel. Or any home to speak of, for that matter. Such is the life of an itinerant mogul, Kupo. I haven't a guild to my name either, so I can't order us tea and biscuits. But we can avail ourselves of a table. Thank goodness those fireworks are noisy. By the power vested in me, I now pronounce this interview commenced, Kupo. Let us begin with the basics. Might I have your full name? I'm tempted. My name doesn't matter. I'm no one of import. Ooh, how utterly mysterious. My palms all a-quiver. But that was actually a trick question, Kupo. I already know who you are. Mr. Warrior of Light. Right, on to the next question. What do you consider your primary vocation? They're just... they're actually doing real interview answers here. But I'm an adventurer through and through. Very good, very good. Adventurers are known to be a helpful lot, ever ready to aid those in need. You've the ideal temperament for a Pictomancer, Kupo. And moving along to the next question, how would you rate your artistic abilities? My stick figure drawings are second to none. Yeah, I can't draw at all. Well, I, for one, think stick figures are wonderful, as is your honest answer. You'll be pleased to know that Pictomancy relies more on one's imagination than their artistic abilities, so don't fret about your egregious lack of the latter. Speaking of imagination, let's try and put yours to work. Tell me, the first thought that enters your mind when you hear the word Moogle. Unfortunately, there's no answer for Mog here. In fact, the first thing that comes to my mind is a gnoll picking up a Mog by its back, and just the thing just goes Kupo, 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 and then it gets thrown by him. But yeah, Final Fantasy 13 too. But in the context of Final Fantasy 14, yeah, furry little shites, unfortunately. I beg your pardon? That's a rather unsettling answer. I suppose there's a fine line between genius and madness. I won't dwell on it, Kupo. You gotta blame not just only those that summoned your King Mogulmog, but also some of the stuff that they had me do in the Heaven's Ward area. Yeah, the Moogles really aren't worth much here in 14. Now, this next question is important. Someone's in trouble. What do you do? Speak with them first to gauge the problem. That is indeed a prudent approach, Kupo. If I may ask a follow-up question, can you share a recent example of when you approached a soul in distress? Come again? A hero who's been inundated with complaints about my Pictomancy pitches? Oh dear, that's rather disheartening, Kupo. But this isn't about me. What's important is that you are not wont to ignore the plight of another. That willingness to serve a greater purpose and emulate Archon Realm's example is the key to becoming a truly talented Pictomancer. Having considered your answers, I reckon you have what it takes to become a capable Pictomancer. I'm so relieved I found you, Kupo. I deem you worthy of the Soul Crystal. However, I should warn you that it comes with some proverbial strings attached. A bit of emotional baggage, too. You see, several moons ago, I got into a terrible argument with my best friend. We went our separate ways, and I've not seen her since. I wish I could meet her again, to reconcile, more than anything. So, if we hear aught of her during our journey together, I'd like you to lend me a helping hand. If you're still willing to train as a Pictomancer with this condition in mind, then the Soul Crystal is yours. Just say the word, Kupo. Alrighty. So, you still wish to be a Pictomancer in full acceptance of my condition? Then as promised, I bestow upon you the Soul Crystal. And to help get you started, I prepared a set of equipment. Hopefully it fits, Kupo. Alright, Pictomancer unlocked. So, with that, let's go ahead and open up the Weathered Painter's attire. And let's go ahead and grab the round brush here. The thing, though, is I already have my own set of caster gear prepared, so... So, Pictomancer. Pictomancer issues the stave for a brush, painting their imaginings upon a canvas and bringing them to life through magic. By utilizing the creature canvas, the weapon canvas, and the landscape canvas, a variety of effects can be produced. Creature motifs are painted on the creature canvas and can be rendered to life through living muse, similarly granting a depiction of the rendered motif. Assembling depiction of palm and depiction of wings creates a Moogle portrait, allowing the execution of Mog of the Ages. Weapon motifs are painted on the weapon canvas and can be rendered to life through Steel Muse. When a hammer is painted on the canvas, Striking Muse can be performed, allowing the execution of Hammer Stamp. Landscape motifs are painted on the landscape canvas and can be rendered to life through Scenic Muse. When a starry sky is painted on the canvas, Starry Muse can be performed, increasing the damage dealt by self and party members. The palette gauge and white paint can be accumulated by executing certain Aether Hue spells. Once your palette is sufficiently saturated with ether, you can consume a portion of the palette gauge to execute Subtractive Palette, which will temporarily alter the properties of your Aether Hue spells, significantly enhancing them. Additionally, white paint can be spent to execute Holy in White. Okay. Alright, so we got a lot of stuff here. I'm gonna get rid of some of this here, just because that's spells that I don't need. Let me try to get some of this set up. that up there. Surecast. And then Addle. Okay, and then this will go down here. Put that up there. Log of Ages was an attack. Okay, so motif. Got it. And then... Okay, so that's an attack, so I'll put that there. So fire in red, fire 2 in red. This is an AoE, so that'll go there. Hammer motif. This is a very different job from other jobs I've used in the past. You know what? I need a target dummy. I'm trying to remember if there's one outside of town. If not, I know there are others I can go to elsewhere. No. Okay. So then... Let's go to Heaven's Word, Idleshire. At the very least, I know where Stone Sky Sea is. Oh, and actually, that's something we have to do here that I didn't even have in the description of this stream. We'll just do basic training here. Alright, so here's a training dummy that we can use. So... yeah, and this is a caster class. Okay, eventually that leads to Holy and White. I think I'll put that over here. Palm motif. Turns into that. For now, I'll put it there. Okay. Then we have hammer motif, which then goes to striking muse. And then that turns into hammer stamp. Okay. Okay, now let's figure out this last one. So then we have Starry Motif, or Starry Sky Motif. But then what actually uses it? Okay, that's a shield. Okay, Starry Muse. And then that gives us a subtractive palette. Okay, so... Huh. Okay, that's an AoE. And if I don't use it in time, that turns it into Blizzard. And then Stone... Thunder... Okay, so it's a combo. Alright, so Starry Sky Motive, which leads to Starry Muse, which then turns into... Okay. So then, this one, I'm just gonna have to put up there on my Shift 2. And I know I'm gonna be getting more abilities along the way here. I still need Tempera Grassa, Comet in Black, Rainbow Drip, and Star Prism. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff here tied to the motifs, it looks like. And then there's a whole bunch of traits I need to unlock as well. But this will at least be good for now, I think. Okay, and then Subtractive Palette grants 3 stacks of Subtractive Palette. Blizzard, Stone, and then Thunder. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna have to play around with this a bit here. But yeah, it seems like I draw the motifs and then use the motifs. And it's like a 2 or 3 step process for each of those. Okay, I think I at least get the gist of it. I need some more time to practice with this and, you know, get this class leveled up. Alright, so that's Pictomancer. Let's now head to Ul'dah. This is the other reason I moved over to Goblin instead of keeping myself on Balmung, because I knew I had to go to Ul'dah to also unlock Viper today here. So Viper is located just over here. You're an adventurer, yes? There's a spot of bother over at the Weaver's Guild, and we could use a hand sorting it out. We received an order for a full ensemble. But now that the work's been completed, the client refuses to pay. Mind you, I had my suspicions from the start. He calls himself a Viper, of all things. In my experience, people who name themselves after snakes are not to be trusted. In any case, he carries a pair of swords on his back, and I hate to think what would happen if he started wielding them in anger. Could you head to the guild and smooth things over? Alright. We are headed to the Weavers Guild. So-called Viper. Good day to you, stranger. I was hoping I might make the acquaintance of someone a bit rougher around the edges. Someone who's seen his fair share of action. Could you tell me what prey's worth hunting in these here parts? Have you any idea what he's talking about? I took no issue with fulfilling his order, but now that it's time for him to pay, it's as though we're talking at cross purposes. Likewise, I don't understand why this fella's being so difficult. All I'm asking for is the outfit I ordered and the name of some critters worth killing. Maybe I oughta explain from the beginning. I'm from Tyrol, a big old continent on the other side of the salt west of here. You've been there, I reckon? Then you might have seen others who wield the dual blades, or vipers, as we're traditionally known. Our duty is to hunt ferocious beasts that endanger the lives of innocent folk. In fact, that's what brought me here. Thing is, all that fighting and long days on the road ain't been too kind to my gear. Reckoned it was high time I got me a new getup, bespoke and all. Fascinating, I'm sure, but why do you refuse to pay for your order, and why are you so insistent that I choose my prey? 'Cause how else am I supposed to pay you? Do us a favor, and we'll hunt down any beast you want. That's the code, how we Vipers do business. Something tells me the method of payment was not discussed during the transaction. Weavers prefer more conventional forms of compensation. That's so. So you're saying they want something else instead? Payment commensurate with the skill and materials required. In guild, preferably. Well, didn't see that one coming. Guess that explains our little misunderstanding. But surely your countrymen trade in some sort of currency, yes? Or are you Vipers so far removed from society as to be unaware of such concepts? Of course we know what money is. We ain't no bumpkins. But, when it comes to requisitioning goods and services, I usually rely on the elders to deal with artisans and the like. Which is to say, I ain't in the habit of carrying significant sums. So be it. If your only form of payment is the slaying of beasts, that shall have to do. As it happens, one of my colleagues in Eastern Thanalan reports that merchants carrying our supplies were attacked by a wild fiend. What's more, the creature is a species of many-headed scalekin, never before seen in this region. It is rumored to have escaped from the Colosseum and has been running rampant ever since. Scaly? Lot of heads? Alright, you got yourself a deal. Deal? Considering the guild has already fulfilled its end of the bargain, you should count yourself lucky. Still, I'd hate for anything to go awry at this juncture. Might I ask a favor of you, friend? I'd like you to accompany him and ensure that he attends to the creature as agreed. Besides, I dare say, seeing a so-called Viper at work will be an enlightening experience. The name's Keshqua. Pleasure to meet ya. The creature was last seen near Camp Drybone, so I advise you to begin there. Yeah, just a couple of letters difference there, and that would not sound too much different from the name of a chocobo. So, anyway, to Camp Drybone. So this is Camp Drybone, huh? Fitting name. Anyway, you ready to hunt? What's that look for? Let me guess. You want to ask around first and see if anyone can point us in the right direction. No need. The Weaver's friend told me plenty. All we gotta do is track down the beast, which is a Viper specialty. It went after traders carrying tailor's materials, bolts of cloth and whatnot. Don't sound none too tasty to me, so I'm guessing it's the merchants themselves the beast had its eye on. Most predators use their sense of smell to pick out their meals. Scents carry on the wind, so you gotta consider the positions of the rocks and plants to determine how the air tends to flow through an area. Ain't too hard to deduce where a critter's made its lair after you've done all that. Yep, that's a big, mean looking too. Must be wreaking havoc on the food chain. Never mind the danger it poses to locals. Well, time to do what a Viper does best. That's that. So, you like the show? Don't play coy. I can see you're intrigued. But before I spill all my secrets, I got a question for you. Ever heard of a Tyrol withdrawal? Oh yes, we took care of one recently. You have? Then you know they're a rare breed of beast that wields all sorts of power they got no right having. A threat to every other living thing that has the temerity to breathe in their vicinity. Because of their long lifespans and unusual abilities, they were dubbed the Tyrants of Tyrol. That's more or less what the name means. Anyway, someone's gotta hunt the Tyrol withdrawal, and that someone is us, the Vipers. You know, I've met a fair few adventurers during my time here, but I can tell you're a cut above the rest. Might even have what it takes to be a Viper. If you're interested, I can teach you, on one condition. You'll help me hunt down a Tyrol withdrawal that made its way to Eorzea. What do you say? Hell of a thing to ask out of the blue, I know. Just think on it some, will you? Let's head on back to Ul'dah and tell the Weaver fella we're square. The journey will give you time to consider my offer. Alrighty. Oh, rare teleport. Back to the Weaver's Guild we go. Okay, so they gave us a free teleport back to the city, but they didn't put us right in front of the Weaver's Guild. I just gave our Weaver friend the good news, and he handed over this set of fancy duds, as promised. Gotta say, it was worth the trouble. So, about my offer, you ready to become a Viper and protect folks from the nastiest beast that ever lived? Let's do it. A mighty fine answer. I'll make a Viper of you. Just see if I don't. First order of business, let me give you this here soul crystal. It contains knowledge of our fighting arts, passed down since ancient times from one generation of Vipers to the next. Assuming you've got the knack for it, our skills can be yours too. I've also got a fresh set of Viper gear for you. The Weaver's Guild wanted to thank you for overseeing our hunt earlier, so they made you your very own outfit. Guess that fella took your measurements by eye or something. Oh, and the blades are a couple of spares I had handy. Try it all on for size, and let me get a look at you while you're at it. Alrighty, so Viper is unlocked. Let's go ahead and unlock the gear. And let's get the weathered Twin Fangs on. Okay, I apparently need some rings. But anyway, Viper Sight. Viper engages enemies mainly through the use of 3-step combos. Their primary combo beginning with either Steel Fang or Reaving Fangs. The third step can end with one of several weapon skills, each of which grants an effect to strengthen a different combo ending action. To reach these actions will require the use of specific combo routes. The glow of Viper Sight's blades correspond with the outlining of hotbar icons to indicate the next step in a combo. Following these indicators will help ensure the use of combos that finish with a strengthened attack. Okay, so let me first just move some of this around. Alright, faint, and then get rid of these. Okay, and then second wind, true north, arm's length, and again I need a target dummy. I know that there's a target dummy right over there. Huh. Okay, so this appears to be a finisher. And then, yeah, it's just, I guess, kind of go down whatever path you want to. I am getting a bunch of buffs here, so I guess, ultimately, I want to go down the path of each of these in turn. And then this can go here, this can go... That can go there, keep that on 7. Okay, that's really curious that they don't give you an AoE to just keep spamming. Oh no, here it is, here it is. At least I think. Yeah. Okay. So, AoE to AoE. 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 And then finisher. Got it. Okay, so then let me pull all this over then. AoE, 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 and then that causes that to pop. So what I need to do is I need a second Serpent's Tail just so I have easy access to the AoE finisher. And then whenever I have one of these stacks, then I can go into this combo instead. And then we go back to this. Got it. Okay. Alright, and then I just have to play around with these combos now to figure out what's the most efficient thing to be doing here. Okay. Cool. So that's Viper. Alright, let me get out of combat. And again, like I said, for Pictomancer and Viper, I need to get these leveled up, and then we'll go down their quest lines. Alright, we're gonna head back to Idleshire, because I did mention that one quest earlier. This is just sort of a long-standing thing that I recently finally took care of to make this quest pop up, so we're gonna take a quick look at that. So, Fiery Wings, Fiery Hearts. New to Idleshire? Never fear. For a mere 1,000 gil, I will personally give you a guided... I say, you look like an adventurer who knows his business. Might you perchance be familiar with the Divine Lanyards? You've tamed 7 of them? I knew you were no ordinary adventurer. But to think that you should be the very hero I sought, please, you must allow me to be your guide. Worry not, I wouldn't dream of charging you for my services, for they are already paid for, by a well-spoken and well-dressed fellow. Who is my mysterious employer, you ask? Well, if you are keen to meet him, it just so happens he is keen to meet you too. You'll find him at the Snail, over by the hard place. Alrighty then. Well, look who it is! Didn't we see you like half an hour ago? Hello, Mr. Wandering Minstrel. Ah, always a pleasure, my friend. After our encounter with the Kirin, I caught wind of a brave soul said to command a veritable flock of divine lanners. 'Tis to find that individual that I have journeyed here. That would be me. You are he? I find myself wholly unsurprised. Without further ado, while you are no stranger to lanners, know you of the creature that rules over them all, the immortal Firebird? Appearing in Far Eastern legends, the Firebird immolates itself in death to rise again from its own ashes. A glimpse of the creature fills one with hope, it is said, while a brush of its feather bestows eternal happiness. Yet for all its mesmerizing majesty, the Firebird is a lonely soul. Long has it soared the heavens in search of a companion, a hero whom this king among birds can count as its equal. Who else could that hero be but you, master to the 7 divine lanners? This is the Firebird whistle. It was passed to me during my journeys, and now I pass it to you. If he who sounds it is worthy, the Firebird will answer his call. And I have no doubt that it will answer yours. I ask that you take the whistle to a vantage point, and there sound it at the heavens. As I did when you summoned the Kirin, I would behold the moment the Firebird descends. Such verses the sight would inspire within me. I knew I could count on you. Now, I have taken the liberty of scouting a likely location for using the whistle, the southeastern reaches of the Dravanian hinterlands, upon a rise leading to Quarthus. Between now and the moment of the meeting, I shall make myself scarce, keeping to the shadows with bated breath. I take my leave of you. I don't believe this is going to be a fight. At least it wasn't a fight with the Kirin he's talking about. But just in case. Kind of a shame it's raining out here as well. I don't know if the Firebird would want to come down in this. That looks like the spot over there. Or maybe not. Ah, up here. Okay. Let's see. A mysterious whistle that, when sounded by a worthy soul, is said to call forth a fiery bird of Far Eastern legend. So those are the 7 lanners. Beautiful beyond all imagining. The mighty Firebird has come. At long last, the creature has met its match, a worthy hero to whom it would lend its wings. The Divine Lanners, the Firebird, and you. Traversing hardship and eternity, 9 brilliant lives have come together to outshine the stars. 'Tis not short of a miracle. High above the heavens, a king in his domain, soaring over creation, the lonely monarch reigns. Born upon the wind, a whistle's piercing sound calls him to descend to find a soul by destiny bound. Ah, the words well up as a gushing font. I believe I have my next creation, and I owe it all to you. It shall be called Fiery Wings, Fiery Hearts. But I must say, to bond with not only the Kirin, but the Firebird besides, you truly are a marvel, my friend. I am loath to take my eyes off you, lest I miss a momentous moment. Ah, but I am not one to overstay my welcome. I shall leave you to resume your adventures. Doubtless there will be many more, with Fiery Wings bearing you. And I look forward to hearing of them. Till next we meet, Godspeed. Alright, so that is Just Like Fire, 20 achievement points. And there is the Firebird mount. So yeah, this is basically a reward for collecting the 7 extreme trial mounts from the Heavensward expansion. Next would be Stormblood that I'm working on. I don't have... I think I've got like maybe 2 of them. Just for reference, I don't really run extremes until they get to the point where I can effectively solo them through unsyncing. Because I am just not a raider. Whatsoever. Okay, it looks like I've got 4 of them, actually. So, that'll happen at some point. Anyway, up next, we need to make our way over to Tuliolol. Alright, and so, we're about to take on the healer role quest, but before we get that started, I do want to take a quick 3 to 5 minute break, so stand by everyone, I will be right back. Alright everyone, I am back, and it is time for us to get underway with the next of the role quests. Today we're going to be taking a look at Healer, and I'm going to be going into this as a White Mage. Let's see, let's just make sure we're good. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So, Night Pine. What business do you have with me? Ah, my apologies. You were Brook Ivu's guest, were you not? I am Night Pine, and I have journeyed far from the northern valleys of Shak Taral to reach this grand city. Tell me, traveler, what is your name? Prince. Rest assured I shall remember it. A shame that we must meet under these unfortunate circumstances. My village's prized possession was among the treasures stolen by the passage of the Unbound. It is known as the Heartstring, and the soul of a dread scorpion, one of the Taral Vidral, is sealed within. The creature once hunted its prey using an array of toxins produced within its body, and was a menace to all. Those granted the Heart Stings gifts may wield this fearsome power as they see fit. We believe the thieves have already taken it across the ocean to Eorzea, and it will doubtless wreak havoc in the wrong hands. Thus, I seek a healer to remedy any harm wrought by the Heart Stings toxins in that faraway land. I won't mince words. You are precisely the sort of man I seek, and we must act quickly to avoid the worst. Will you lend us your aid? Aiding those in need is what I do best. You have my gratitude. To the matter at hand, then. While I was making inquiries here in Tuliolol regarding the thieves' whereabouts, some Eorzean merchants told me a rather intriguing tale. Specifically, those returning from Limsa Luminsa bring fell tidings, tales of able-bodied men and women suddenly losing their vision. An all-too-familiar account, as the Heart Sting allows mastery over all manner of poisons, including those that inflict temporary blindness. A great deal of training is required to properly utilize the Scorpion's gifts, but the blinding toxin is one of the simplest to wield. It seems to me the brigands are the masterminds of these strange incidents, harnessing the treasured power for their own nefarious ends. Loshkana, the village elder's daughter, makes for Limsa Luminsa in pursuit of the Heart Sting. I intended to set sail with her, but my foot was badly injured by a mechanical doll during the thieves' ambush. By a strange mechanical doll. Loshkana insisted I remain here to recover, and she would not take no for an answer. I must ask that you cross the sea in my stead, and provide Loshkana your aid. Considering that our enemy wields deadly poisons, the danger is too great for her to face alone. Based on when she departed, I presume she's arrived at her destination by now. She boarded a merchantman captain by a woman named Baldbrida, who is primarily based in Limsa Luminsa. She may be able to help you locate Loshkana. Alright, we make for Limsa Luminsa. Actually, I can just use return. And we're gonna meet them by the ferries, apparently. I'm Baldbrida, and if you were planning to sell your healing services to me and my crew, don't. Me ship ain't setting sail for a short while. Looking for a Tirali woman named Loshkana? Aye, she made the crossing with us, trying to retrieve some sort of treasure, as I recall. I told her Hawker's Alley was her best bet for the latest chatter, so you may find her wandering thereabouts. Keep an eye out for a Huron lass in a red tunic carrying a spear on her back. She can't have gone too far. Alrighty. Alright, so where are they? On the top or on the bottom? I think they're on the top here. We have 2 paths that cross here. Oh, hello there, stranger. Can I help you? Nightpine sent you to help? Did he? Seeing as I've hit something of a dead end, your timing couldn't be better. I suppose proper introductions are in order. Then, I am Lushkana of Shak Jaral, and you are? PrinceBrightstar. A pleasure to meet you, Prince. With that, we're strangers no longer. I'm not sure how much Nightpine already told you, but I'll assume you'll want to hear more about the day of the theft. My father and Nightpines had just set a trap using one of the Heartsting's toxins, and were on their way to return the treasure to its resting place. But an evil presence stirred in the wilds that night. Mechanical dolls with great glowing eyes leapt from the shadows and gravely wounded them both. My father survived the encounter, thankfully, but he was unable to give chase, and convalesces now in my home village. The culprit's faces eluded him in the darkness, but he heard 2 voices, a man and a woman's. He recognized neither, so we're certain they aren't from our village. Whoever those 2 were, they must have been the ones controlling the dolls before making off with the Heartsting. Brookivaux said they're part of the Passage of the Unbound, but I'm afraid that's all I know of the culprits. Still, that may change if I can ascertain the cause of the recent blinding incidents that have occurred here. Unfortunately, I haven't had much luck asking around. The thought of addressing even one person here is, well, overwhelming. When you're from a remote village like mine, the few I've attempted to speak with were too busy to even listen in the first place. You, on the other hand, look ready to take on the world, or at least this city. I'm sorry to ask this of you so soon after we've met, but could you help me gather the latest hearsay at the markets? Many, many thanks. I'll search the quieter districts for clues in the meantime, and hopefully not get myself lost along the way. Alright, so we need to ask around the markets. The recent chaos in the markets? I'm told the Yellow Jackets have been thoroughly investigating the matter in cooperation with the Adventurers Guild. If you're in a hurry, there's a Yellow Jacket making her rounds by way of the Fishermen's Guild. She'd be a good one to ask. Alright, that'll be our 4th destination then. Blinding incidents? Aye, I know of them. Started with some bad fruit at a stall in Acre's Alley. A few bites in, and folks suddenly go writhing on the ground like beach sea serpents, claiming they can't see a bloody thing. I don't blame him for raising hells with the shopkeep, neither. Poor sods couldn't move an ilm till the treatment came and they could see properly. The shopkeep was rightly furious about the whole ordeal, and took it up with his longtime supplier. Escalated into a real spectacle, it did. Turns out the same problem was occurring at other stalls, and with fruit from different suppliers. So it don't make sense to pin the blame on individual sellers if the whole supply chain's tainted. Even now, nobody knows what's causing it. Grim business, I tell you. Alrighty. And then there's one more in East Hawker's Alley. Well, yes, I know about the blinding incidents. I experienced it firsthand. I was rather peckish, so I purchased some fruit from a local stall and took a few bites on my way home. But before I knew it, my vision went dark. I stood there, shaking and crying, terrified of what would happen if the darkness never faded. I thought I was alone, until I heard a woman nearby howling with laughter. Fortunately, I didn't suffer for long. A passing adventurer cured my sight with Isuna, and I went about the rest of my day as though nothing happened. But I haven't been able to look at fruit the same way since. Your investigation of Hawker's Alley has proven successful, but you sense there is more to be found. Seek out the Yellow Jacket on patrol, who may have further details on the blinding incidents, and they are near the Fisherman's Guild. There they are. 12 be good. You're PrinceBrightstar, aren't you? The PrinceBrightstar? It's an honor to meet the realm's vaunted hero up close. Is there aught I can assist you with? I hear all sorts on my rounds, so if it's information you're after, you've come to the right person. About the blinding incidents. Oh yes, the serial blindings. They're causing a terrible ruckus around here. You know, a woman in red came this way a few moments ago to ask about the very same. I take it you two are acquainted? Aha, I thought so. As I told her, another incident was reported yesterday morning. The victim bought fruit from a local vendor, took a few bites, then temporarily lost all vision. Same as the rest. The vendor in question was last seen to the south of the Octon, so I'm headed there next to follow their trail. You're welcome to join me if it'll help your investigation. Alrighty. He's paralyzed. We've got to do something. But I have no talent for healing magic, and I don't have any spine drops on me either. Perhaps Isuna might do the trick. Alrighty, Isuna it is. There we go. I'm healed? I'm healed! Oh, thank the 12. And you lot, of course. Excellent work, Prince. On behalf of the Yellow Jackets, I owe you my thanks as well. Now, I hate to ruin the mood, but I'll need to report this to my superiors. Could you tell us what transpired here before we found you, sir? It was awful. Just awful, I tell you. I was walking home after another arduous day at work, minding my own business, when a Lullafellan merchant suddenly called out to me. "You, my good man, look exhausted," he said. "Why not soothe your weary spirit and fill your empty belly with one of the realm's sweetest apples? You've earned it. Nay, you deserve it." 'Twas a tempting sales pitch, but I wasn't keen to gamble on potentially cursed fruit. Sensing my apprehension, he proudly declared his merchandise safe to eat. He sounded sincere enough, even took a bite of the apple himself. No tainted fruit here, he boasted, just normal, honest-to-God's produce. He sold me the apple at a reasonable discount, and all seemed well. That is, until I took my first bite, and numbness spread throughout my body like wildfire. I collapsed to the ground, struggling to speak a single word. The vendor and his fruit had suddenly betrayed me, yet I knew not how. As I fell, a woman's shrill laughter echoed from a few yalms away, and the vendor soon followed. I never saw the woman for myself, what with the whole not being able to move business, but between her laughing fits, she made mention of a heart sting, or some such. Oh, you poor dear. And this woman you mentioned, you're positive she spoke the word heart sting? As surely as the wind blows, for a mercy, neither she nor her vendor friend tried to steal my belongings, but they've certainly stolen my dignity. I hope those conniving charlatans get what's coming to them. This is dangerous fruit we're dealing in. First blindness, now paralysis. But first things first, I should escort this man home. If you've a mind to pursue the perpetrators further, then have care out there, alright? There's no doubt about it, then. Our thieves are at large, right here in Limsa Lominsa. The blinding toxin is simple enough to master, but it's unsettling how quickly they've learned to inflict paralysis as well. I just don't see what purpose this all serves. Were you able to learn anything of their motives? So they take pleasure in their victims' pain, but nothing more. At least nothing more that we know of. Whatever their true aim may be, we must discover it quickly before more victims suffer at their hands. A hunter must adapt to their environment if they wish to snare their prey, but I have so much to learn about this place. Still, I have tracked them this far, which is a good start. For the time being, I'd like to petition those officers in yellow for any new information they acquire on the Heartsting's whereabouts. When we come across any promising leads, I hope I can count on your support again. Alrighty, on to the next quest. Say, Prince, can you spare a moment? I'll try to start on a positive note, then. The good news is that there've been no further incidents involving poisoned fruit. I should be happy about that, but it's not exactly conducive to tracking down our thieves. Despite my best attempts, my investigation's at a standstill. Prince. I bring news from the Coral Tower. A Lullafellan man matching the description of that fruit vendor was seen leaving the city with a hired woman. It seems they were making for Aleport. We've increased patrols of late, so if I had to guess, the culprits are finding it harder to operate within the city. Seems we've forced them to withdraw for the time being. Aleport, you say? That's on this island, isn't it? Yes, that's right. It's possible to go on foot, but the ferry by the Fisherman's Guild can take you straight there. While we Yellow Jacket must continue to keep an eye on things here, it's reassuring to know an adventurer of Prince's caliber is on the case. If you plan to pursue the suspects, Aleport's yours best bet. That said, I should get back to work. It was an honor to meet you and your friend, Prince. Safe travels to you both, and give those crooks a good thrashing for me. The city's protectors place so much trust in your abilities. I'm lucky to have you on my side. When I first set sail for Eorzea, I feared I'd never see the Heartsting again, but we're one step closer to bringing it home. In any event, we'd best find our way to the port town before that pair of troublemakers defiles any fruit supply. I'll go on ahead and take the ferry. Meet me in Aleport once you're ready. Alright, to Aleport we go. Ah, there you are, Prince. You're a welcome sight among such unfamiliar scenery. The ferry skipper was eager to teach me all about this area on the ride here, so I believe I have a general idea of what's what. Wouldn't want to lose my bearings on a hunt this important. I asked him about our merchants, but he said he hadn't seen a pair like that. The skipper did mention another merchant, though. One who's well-versed in the comings and goings of his fellow traders. If anyone sighted our unlikely duo, it's him. Let's hope it's enough to put us on the culprit's trail again. The merchant we seek should be peddling his wares by the gates to Skull Valley, so let's start there. Alright, that's going to take us to the west. Eh? Can I help you? A Lalafell and a Hero traveling together? Aye, I've spied them, though I'd never seen them before. They certainly made an impression. They sold some potions and elixirs to a pair of fresh-faced adventurers on the cheap, from what I could tell. If those merchants really are our culprits, then those potions are most likely tainted with toxins. Toxins, you say? That don't bode well. The adventurers who bought them, a marauder named Wysulum and a conjurer named Zerig, already left for their next job. Said they were escorting one of the local farmers over to Swiftperch. They're good lads, the two of them. They've been making life easier for the small folk here ever since they arrived, and I'd hate to see something happen to them. Someone needs to warn them about those potions right quick. Leave that to us. Swiftperch is southeast of here, yes? Let's find them before before the poison takes hold. This appears to be what we're looking for. And we got some mammoths to deal with. Phew, thank the gods you found us when you did. Those potion sellers must have swindled us. One draught of elixir was all it took to send Zerig into the most furious fit of hiccups I've ever seen. Poor bastard couldn't cast a single spell. Who are you calling a poor bastard? If the Heartsting's toxins are at work here, we should be able to cleanse them with Asuna, just like last time. I'm sorry, did you say... Oh, sod it. We'll have plenty of time to chat after Zerig stops hiccuping up a storm. I hate to ask more of you, but could you cast Asuna on my partner? It'd be much appreciated. Alrighty. I can speak again. You have my thanks. Bloody hells. First we waste our hard-earned coin on poison potions, and now there are killer mammoths on the loose? What's the world coming to? Who goes there? Show yourself. Oh me, oh my. Our spear-wielding friend is sharp of eye. You're the frauds from Aleport. Why, yes, and watching your scrawny compatriot suffer was the highlight of our day. I admit the poison was meant to silence him, but hiccups? 'Twas comedy at its finest. Perhaps the elixir reacted with the venom. Regardless, we had our fill of fun from the results, so I shan't complain. Venom? Then you must be the thieving cowards from the Passage of the Unbound. Oh, my sweet fairy apple, you know us? I suppose that means we're famous. I can't believe it. Oh, who am I kidding? Yes, I can. Indeed, I am the Passage of the Unbound alchemist extraordinaire, the illustrious Illyric, and I am so very, very pleased to make your acquaintance. Kokonowa, at your service. Illyric, helping hand and master of mammoths. Your garb is ever so familiar to me, my dear. Ah, don't tell me. You hail from that little village in Tyrol, don't you? My goodness, you've come a long way. How was the voyage? Enjoying the sights? Enough! You've got a lot of explaining to do, starting with the reason you took the heart sting. Is this part of your organization's grand scheme? Well, well, the apple bites back. 'Tis true that my unbound compatriots harbor lofty ambitions, yes, but I have no interest in overthrowing nations. I merely crave the mires of chaos they've promised me. Why do I get the feeling that none of them are interested in overthrowing nations? I aim to bring more laughter into this dreary world, one mischief, and a few handy poisons at a time. Kokonowa and I are having oodles of fun, expanding our repertoire of toxic treats. Yet there's no greater kill to our thrills than a healer who can whisk our hard work away. Unless, of course, I can master a toxin even he can't cure. Ooh, I do love a challenge. Now, I hate to leave you, my dears. Well, I was not expecting a bomb. Then again, I probably should have, considering the writers behind this stuff. Yet another staple of the Manderville. Anyway, but our work here is done, and we've a busy schedule ahead of us. Mammoths to mend, venomous misdeeds to master. Ta-ta for now. No, wait, damn you. I was gonna say soccer kick, but apparently that one exploded a little too quickly. Ugh, that stench smells like a corpse just shot itself. I can't call it a theory anymore, considering. Ugh. This odor is too much to bear. Take me home to Twellswood. Why, Slum? The air is clear there. Oh no, don't you dare give out on me, Zarig. We've still got a job to do. We mustn't keep our client waiting any longer, but we're in your debt. Thank you again for everything, Miss Lushkana, and this here is Prince. Take care of each other out there. Much as I'd like to track down the Unbound, I know better than to tread further into their territory without a plan. For now, I think it's best we return to Limsa Lominsa. Back to Limsa we go then. Unfortunately, the Warrior of Light is just never gonna accept that as an answer. Now capture and throw in the brig? That might be an answer. Thank you for the support back there, Prince. Isuna truly does work wonders. And that Ellerite, I can't stop thinking about what she said. My blood boils, knowing that this is all some sick game to her. How dare she toy with the heartsting for her own amusement? Honestly, even the youngest children in my village have more sense. Still, we did make progress. Now that the villains have revealed themselves, it'll be easier to give chase when they choose to make their next move. In any case, I'll keep you apprised of the latest news as soon as I hear it. We'll be back to the hunt before long. On to the next one. Oh, it's you, Prince. You'll have to forgive the dour mood. I don't understand it. How is it that Ellerite and Kokonoa can so grandiosely reveal their names and identities, yet I remain unable to track them down? I've been following the latest hearsay, but I haven't had much luck. Not a soul's seen them since the incident with Weselam and Zarig. But that's not to say I've given up entirely. Now that they know that I'm on their trail, I suspect they're using my unfamiliarity with this island to their advantage. I dare say they're lying low outside the city. That's why I propose a trip to the Morbi dry docks. Folk here often speak of it, but I've yet to go there myself. So it seems as good a place as any. If you're game, I'll meet you there. Down to Lower Lenosha. Ah, there you are, Prince. While I was waiting for you, this fellow came asking for help. Sorry to trouble you, but me little brother's gone missing, and I could use a hand at finding him. He said he wanted to see the ships I made, so I started showing him around, but the next thing I knew, he was gone. Lad's probably got himself lost. Oh, the poor dear. I know we still have the heart sting to consider, but I'd like to search for this man's brother, if that's alright with you. Much appreciated. I'm sure we'll find him all the faster with your help. You had me thanks. Me brother wouldn't say boo to a goose, so I doubt he'd leave the docks on his own. He's got a mop of red hair like mine, so you'll know him when you see him. We'll keep an eye out. I know you're itching to search for him as well, but could I ask you to wait here in case he comes back? Let's split up so we can cover more ground. Good luck. Alright, so... for the red-headed youth... Looks like they are up above here. There they are. looks like they can't see. I'm scared. Where are you? Huh? You're here to take me back to my brother? Oh, maybe they aren't blind. You found the little one, Prince. I'm so glad he's safe. I just wanted to see the ships my brother was working on. I thought I could see him better from higher up, but I lost my way. It sounds like you've had quite the adventure. But you were very brave today, so I'll tell you a secret. Even grown-ups get lost. I have an awful time learning my way around somewhere new, even with a map. Really? I guess I'm not the only one. A smile. We like to see those. Now, your brother's very worried about you, so can you promise me you won't go wandering off on your own again? I promise. I should say sorry to my brother, too. Let's take him back, then. Alright, back down we go! You're lifesavers, both of you. You deserve a proper reward, but I ain't got much to offer at the moment. Oh, we're in no need of coin, just some information, if you have it. Have you seen a Huron woman and a Lalafellan man around the docks in recent days? One is an alchemist, and the other is a goldsmith. They'd likely have a few mammoths with them as well. If not, have you heard any rumors of food or drink that causes ailments when you consume them? Blindness or numbness, perhaps? Afraid I haven't seen or heard anything or anyone like that. Sorry I couldn't be of more help to you. That's alright. Knowing they haven't been around the docks is equally helpful. Well, that's good at least. I'll be praying to the navigator you both find who you're looking for. Any road, the two of us ought to be heading home. Thanks again for everything. Good fortune and safe travels to you both. Still no word of the Unbound, but at least we could help those brothers. Children often let their curiosity guide them, which means they'll naturally wander off on their own adventures. I don't blame that man for worrying as much as he did. Something tells me you speak from personal experience. I do, in fact. I'm the oldest sibling in my family. I can't tell you how many times I've had to search for my brothers and sisters when they were growing up. Now that I think on it, I barely told you about my family, or my village, or anything, really. I'd be happy to share a few stories if you'd like. The ocean view here is beautiful, so we may as well enjoy the scenery and relax a bit. My people hail from the northern valleys of Shaktaral. We're a close-knit community of hunters, for the most part. Children are given spears, well, practice ones, before they even learn to walk, and we hone our tracking skills from a very young age. Is it that surprising? It seems second nature to me, but then again, I've encountered my fair share of surprises here as well. Our village rests in a veritable sea of poisonous plants and animals, so the slightest injury on a hunt can prove deadly. Thus, we believe it prudent to begin our training as early as possible. Yet no matter how skilled we might become, accidents are inevitable, and the heart sting proves vital to our survival. Not only does it produce poison, it cleanses it as well. In the right hands, it can dispel some of the deadliest natural toxins known to mankind. It even purifies the beasts we hunt. In fact, our diet consists of highly venomous creatures, ones that would normally kill a grown adult if ingested. The heart sting allows us to lead a quiet, peaceful life in lands where others dare not tread. It always has. I suppose that's why I never imagined someone like Elrit would take that away from us. When I left, our village food stores were well stocked, but I can't bear the thought of my younger brothers and sisters going hungry. I must return the heart sting as soon as I can, for their sakes. I wish to bring back their smiles and make them feel safe again, just as we did for that young boy. In any case, thank you for listening. Thinking of home puts me in good spirits. As long as I remember who and what I'm here for, I'll be alright. I know it. But I've kept you long enough. I think it's time we made our way back to Limsa, don't you? Okay, we are just about back. That was a much-needed reprieve, but we'll need to plan our next destination and soon. Well now, fancy meeting you here. It's good to see you two again. What brings you to Limsa? Nothing of import, really. Just a bit of restocking before our next job. But we happened to spot you along the way. Didn't want to miss the opportunity to greet our heroes. Our client arrived to swift perch in one piece, thanks to your timely assistance. Indeed. While I regret that you had to see us in such a pitiable state, we're both grateful for your aid. When last we met, you spoke of pursuing those two charlatans, did you not? That's right. They've stolen a precious heirloom from my village, so I'm doing everything in my power to return it to its rightful place. So that's the way of it. Bombastic as those two were, we've not seen hide nor hair of them in Aleport since. No word of any incidents like ours either. But I have a feeling they won't stay in the shadows for too long. If we sniff out any suspicious incidents while we're out and about, we'll keep you informed. I won't say no to some extra pairs of eyes around the island. I've made my base of operations here in the city, so if you hear even a peep about us poisoning, you'll know where to find us. Well, we may not have found any leads on Elrit, but I'm glad we had a chance to chat. And with Wesleyan and Zarig on our side, things are looking up. For now, I'll keep in touch with our newfound allies. Should I hear any news of our culprits, I'll be sure to let you know. Alrighty, so, unfortunately fatigue has taken me a little early tonight here, so I'm gonna have to put an early end to the show here for tonight, but I will be back on tomorrow. We're actually gonna be continuing with the challenge tomorrow, and, with that, thank you for joining me today. This is PrinceBrightstar signing off. I'll catch you next time.